The latest season of Living Alone in the Wild begins. How easy it is to fish in the wild. Saw trout swimming through the water, and then throw it out. It landed right on a big trout. The big man is weak when he fishes. Time came to day 13. There are 6 players left in the field. KRZYV woke up one morning to find the weather nearby very fine. Such a beautiful setting. What a waste not to pee. He explored the shore. I wish I could catch some fish. KRZYV's technique for catching fish is very simple. Just keep shouting for the fish from the shore. He's trying to attract the fish with his testosterone-filled hiker. I can't believe I'm screaming my ass off and no fish are coming. This is a simple way to catch fish, but it doesn't work at all. KRZYV was Polish, and then I moved to Australia. Seeing the food these gringos eat, I wonder if the girls think that foreign good ideas will ever change. He placed a fishing line on the shore yesterday. Now the line looks very tight. When he pulled the line, it was found that an eel had been caught. I mean, it's like I want to die. Eels are protected animals in Finland, so the eels caught can't be eaten and must be released. Just let the fat out of your mouth. I mean, that's what made KRZYV get his period. I really don't understand. Why doesn't he go back to digging worms and fishing? Only 1 pole a day, then bring it up again the next day. It's a silly way to get food. When he got back to the shelter, I can't believe I started sleeping. Hey, what are you doing? Just waking up to pee. I can't believe you're sleeping again. By the door stood a bottle of water and a bottle of Coke pulled out last night. Drink the one you get when you're thirsty. The shelter has been set up. KRZYV would rather starve than get food. I thought KRZYV was stupid enough. I didn't realize Susan was even stupider. She was lying on the floor doing brain-flooding exercises. Put your feet up high. The water in your body will flow into your head, and that's where the brain goes. There's one good thing about having a bad brain. It keeps your brain moist and swollen. There are often some fools who just want to make their brains bigger and smarter in this way. Susan is a vegetarian. She's been picking wild mushrooms to eat lately. When you're tired of mushrooms, drink water. Today Susan decided to move. She wants to be closer to the water. It's a waste of energy to walk so far every day to fetch water. Susan packed up everything to take away. The new location is on the shore. It's been 13 days since the start. There's no decent shelter yet. A player like that is really a dish. The new shelter location is really nice. I'm so tired just getting here. Rest for a few hours before you work. Jack has always lived on the shore. I wake up and wash my pants by the stream, a dozen at a time. I spent most of the morning washing my panties. Jack sat on the bank and took out the picture, but it's not missing family. I'm telling my family that I'm fine here. He began to cut down a log, planned to look for earthworms to go fishing. This high guy's finally gonna get down to business. What have you not eaten in 13 days? Now I remember I'm going fishing. He tied the wood to the axe, made a primitive hoe. Jack dug in the dirt with a hoe. Such wetlands are the easiest places to dig for earthworms. The jungle is very overgrown with weeds. In theory, there is no shortage of earthworms. Jack switched positions and continued digging for worms, but it wasn't found. Then he switched places again. His survival plan is, get enough food before you build a shelter. But he had already wasted 13 days. After changing positions several times, no earthworm was found. I didn't dig much before I gave up. He came to shore for plan B. Use a fly as bait. Eels are abundant here, but the bait available is limited. If you catch an eel, you're basically wasting a bait. Jack wanted very much to catch 2 flies at once. Soon there will be fish on the hook. He pulled back the line, and the hook was ripped off. This is really off the scale. Suddenly Jack didn't know what to do. He lost a hook, but he still has plenty of hooks. As long as there are young children, there's no shortage of fish to catch. The time came to the 14th day. Andre woke up one morning and was glad he had made $1,000. The Wilderness Solo contestant runs on a 7-day cycle. Players are paid $1,000 for each week they stay. The final prize goes to the player who survives the longest. As a reality show, they are both contestants and actors on the show. Andre drinks a pot of water for breakfast every day. His primary goal is still fishing. The weather has not been very good recently. He came to the shore to locate the trout. On the shore there was a trout not far away. He decided to try it here. I never thought he'd actually caught a trout. Andre pulled the trout slowly to the shore. I never thought fishing would be so easy. This is a female trout laying eggs. Cut the fish's tail. It's easier to preserve the blood by letting it go. This trout is small in size, but it still gives him enough for a meal. He took the trout back to the shelter. The trout looks thin. Rick came to the shore early in the morning. He found that his manicure had not been maintained for a long time. All of a sudden, he's here playing an air guitar. Everyone else comes to the shore to fish. Rick came to the shore to draw maps. He drew his position in the sand. There was time not to get food and perfect shelter, playing with sand in here. If I were alone in the wilderness, such players face a direct fine of $100,000 to withdraw from the race. I'm here on vacation on basic pay. All this stuff in the morning. When you're done playing, you're out hunting. I mean, wandering the neighborhood with a bow and arrow. In fact, it only blows in one position. Rick, you better go hunting. There's a hammer in here for analysis. The current here is very strong. He walked slowly along with the stick. The shoes have begun to deglue. It rained before the hunt began. I had to go back to my shelter. A day passed without doing anything. Andre caught a fish, but it was hanging on the tree. He planned to eat the fish in 5 days. On days when you don't need to eat, he continues to fish for food. I like such players very much. Andre is likely to win the championship this season. He caught a fish today. They are still very active in getting food, not like the rest of the players. This body of water is very large, but he had to pick a good fishing spot. He found trout in this spot. Start fishing immediately. Just a stick and fishing line. No sooner had the rod been put in than a fish bit the hook. This trout is very fierce. Andre did not dare to pull. It would be a big loss if I broke the pole. Trout are struggling in the water. We had to wait until it had no strength to pull back. When the fish's strength is exhausted, slowly pull it back to shore. So easy to get another trout. This fish is bigger and fatter than the first one. Andre was about to fly for joy. 2 fish were harvested today. At least you don't have to worry about eating for 2 weeks. The trout is hanging in the tree. The next thing to think about is how do you preserve these 2 fish? Rick lit a fire on the shore. His shoes were already wet. Trying to dry it out, put a pot of stones in an iron pot. Heat it up on the fire. When the stone is hot, put it in the shoe. Try drying shoes with the heat of rocks. This method is really good. The stone kept steaming out of the shoe. Looks like it worked. It was a little after 4 in the afternoon. Andre is going to handle the fish. He collected some wood. Prepare the smoked fish meat. The surrounding environment is very humid. He had to find a way to dry the fish. Otherwise it will go bad quickly. Andre came to the shore to collect some dry branches. The branches feel moist. I wonder if we can get the fire going. After a while, the sky began to overcloud again. It feels like it's going to rain hard soon. At night, the sky thundered. Soon the fish began to fall. Andre sat in the shelter. He can't make a fire or boil water or eat. I feel like I'm going to bleed. At midnight on the 15th day, the heavy rain affected Rick badly. 15 days and it's still a makeshift tent. He's trying to determine where the thunder is. It's about 3 kilometers away. Susan hasn't been able to sleep either. The heavy rain worried them. The shelter hasn't even been set up yet. Of course I couldn't sleep because I was scared. Couldn't sleep at night, in case the rain overwhelms the shelter tents. Afraid the tree will fall and kill him. The perfect shelter for Tamika. I was also woken by the sound of heavy rain. When KRZYV woke up, turns out last night was just wind and rain. Everything around is fine. The sun is still shining today. He came to the shore to observe. There were a lot of weeds nearby. The water level has risen quite a bit. Looks like this high guys had another day with no plans. Tamika decided early in the morning to go hunting. She is a vegetarian, but I came here to survive for the money, so she allowed herself to eat some meat. The fishers all had a feast. The hunters have seen no prey so far. Tamika found a hole in a tree here. She used her camera to look inside the tree hole. There are animal scratches. Tamika guessed it might be the possum's home. I thought she'd make traps. I didn't expect to just leave. She found deer droppings on the ground. Study it carefully with your hands. Then he stood by the rock. What the hell is she doing here? It doesn't look like he wants to hunt. I can't believe we're having a conversation here. Grandma, please be serious, okay? Tamika is definitely not out hunting. It was taken in the wild. Jack also hunts in the wild. He fished without a catch. Hunting and not seeing the prey. We're all men. Why is he so miserable? There should be plenty of prey around. Why didn't he meet any of them? Animal poop is everywhere. He decided to wait here for his prey. Take out the knife and the salt you brought. Jack used a knife to scrape off the salt for a snack, and then wait here for the prey to show up. Soon he made a discovery. There was some movement nearby. He seemed to see the back of the deer. A closer look revealed that it was wrong. He would very much like to spend more time here, but the lack of food gave him a terrible headache. A man can't blame the road. These high people are really bad at it. Jack felt that his body was reaching its limit. He was already thinking of giving up. This is supposed to be his last night here. The time came to day 16. The show crew showed up this morning. They're here to examine the players. It's only been a few days. So soon for a physical examination. After examination, Jack is still able to continue the challenge. But Jack says he hasn't eaten in 16 days. He wants to get out of the game. Hunger made his body slow, and it's getting less and less focused. These players find it hard to fish. I'm speechless too, but it's okay to drop out. There's no use wasting time and footage here. Brought all the equipment. Turns out none of it worked. Tamika's been squatting since yesterday. Or it's a fake camera. Or the days of the show were faked. If they don't admit to fraud, then I assume Tamika's been in there since yesterday. She's got the best shelter at the moment. She came to the shore to observe. I had the thought of dropping out. Vegans can't even find food. So what surprises do these contestants have in store for us? Look forward to an update in the next video.